We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life.
Now, I'm taking this Diddy case very seriously, and I'm considering all aspects when we are going through evidence. And I think that JayZ's accuser has quite a story, and I want to break down what is really going on here. Now, again, I'm trying to be unbiased, so we're going to hear out why JayZ is claiming that this accuser isn't credible. So JayZ's accuser comes forward and acknowledges inconsistencies in her allegation. Now, this is a tough story because this harms not only her case, but also other victims who are coming forward. Because if she's misremembering things, then it opens the conversation up to if other people are also misremembering. An Alabama woman who accused JayZ and Diddy of R-wording her when she was 13 years old sat down with NBC News to recount what she called a catastrophic event. A limo ride to a White House, a drink that made her feel woozy, essay by rap stars that would essentially ruin her life. But the woman and her lawyers also acknowledged that there were some inconsistencies in her account in response to questions from NBC News. The woman, identified as Jane Doe, we don't know her identity yet. I don't know if we ever will, but she may release it at some point, or JayZ might force it out. She claims that I have made some mistakes. She said she stands by her allegations overall, but there are some inconsistencies because this happened 24 years ago.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life.
Now, that was a clip of the accuser going on and stating why she wants to go forward and still pursue these charges against Diddy. But let's talk about the inconsistencies that she is owning up to. The woman said her father picked her up after the SA, but he says he doesn't recall that. The woman also claims she spoke to a celebrity at the after party where she says she was harmed, but that celebrity said he was not at New York and was not in New York at the time. So she's saying, hey, I spoke to this celebrity. This celebrity is like, hey, I have receipts to prove I wasn't even in that state. And images from that evening show JayZ, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Diddy at different locations, at least different than what the woman described. I do want to note that I actually read these court documents and they were spotted at the same club that night. I think it was called Lotus, but Diddy was spotted at an additional club. Again, I think that they're really trying to push that one aspect, but they were spotted at the same club at some point, so who knows if they could have ended up at the same after party. But the woman, who's now 38, says she was living in New York, and in the year 2000 she wanted to attend the VMAs. It was on her bucket list, so she said, oh gosh, those are one of the things I have to do. So she snuck out of her window to escape her parents and go to the VMAs. I almost can't believe that, just because I remember when I was 13 and I'm literally scared of a shadow. So I can't imagine breaking out of my window in Rochester, New York, and finding my way into the city trying to get into the VMAs at 13 years old.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet, but it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
Imagine this, you've been in an accident or someone you love has been seriously hurt. Suddenly you're facing a mountain of medical bills, paperwork, and insurance companies that don't want to pay what you deserve. Now, what if I told you there was a simple solution to this nightmare? Getting compensation when you are entitled to can be tricky, with many personal injury firms giving you the runaround, drowning you in paperwork and settling for less than what you deserve. But it doesn't have to be that way. This is where Morgan & Morgan steps in. As America's largest injury firm, they've modernized the entire process. With over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states, they have the resources to take on big insurance companies and give you the money you deserve. And trust me, they don't settle for low-ball offers. Just this year, they secured a $26 million settlement in Philadelphia, 40 times more than the highest insurance offer. And there are plenty more stories like that. You could just fill out a simple form in minutes. No appointments, no complicated paperwork. Everything is done from your phone. Plus, it's totally free unless you win. Morgan & Morgan makes the process easy and stress-free. You can head over to forthepeople.com/Sloan. You can also find that link in the description below to get started. Remember, the process is free unless you win. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. Now, Jane Doe claims that they did not have a ticket to this event, and she said in the suit she watched some of the show on a Jumbotron. She claims she started chatting up a limo driver, and she said she was trying to get into an after party and meet some celebrities, which is in fact what the limo driver, I guess, sold her off as, like, you know, you can come back with me and meet some celebrities at this party, not knowing that the celebrity was going to be Diddy and she was going to be potentially attacked. Now, MTV confirmed there was no Jumbotron. Am I saying that right? Jumbotron? There was no Jumbotron, which is like those very large screens that display like a TV show, an award show. Actually, MTV tried to get one of those for this VMAs, but they didn't get approved. The permit was denied. And these lawyers, JayZ's lawyers, were able to go all the way back to these receipts and find these things out. So it makes her story look less believable if she's saying, oh yeah, like I was outside, 13 years old, the year 2000, watching the award show on this Jumbotron, yet there was, in fact, no Jumbotron, and they can go back and find that out, which seems like it would be a distinct memory since she's leading with it. So again, I'm trying to hear all sides. The limo driver claims that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. He told her he would return later and take her to an after party. About after 20 minutes in the limo, she said she arrived at a large white residence at a gated U-shaped driveway. And then she said she signed a document that she did not read, which would be probably an NDA. Professional images reviewed by NBC show Diddy and JayZ were among the celebrities who attended the VMAs after party at the Lotus nightclub. It is not clear what time those images were taken or if Diddy and JayZ attended any other after parties. The building that hosted the Lotus is now closed and does not match the description of the house the woman described in the lawsuit. Busby has said, we've attempted to confirm the correct location. We have never suggested the location was the Lotus Club. Our client has been very specific and detailed about the description of the venue she says she was taken to and never stated it was the Lotus Club. He added, we won't speculate on whether there was an after party because, again, she doesn't know that. Let's react to some more of her interview.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
Now, Jane Doe told NBC News, I'm talking to Fred Durst, Benji Madden, about his tattoos, Last Supper, because I have a religious background, so it was just something to talk about. But a representative for Benji Madden confirmed that neither Benji nor his brother Joel attended the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at this time. Now, this woman did not accuse these men of any wrongdoing, but she claimed they were at this after party, which they were in fact not. Now, I don't know if this information is relevant, but I do want to mention it because the woman is bringing it up that she is in fact autistic.
Says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball.
Which that probably makes sense why I was like, wait, how could you be 13 and do this? And she's explaining it's because of her condition.
The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
Now, Jane Doe claims she found an empty room with a bed in it and that she wasn't feeling well after consuming a drink that made her feel woozy. She goes on to say that both JayZ and Diddy did some really nasty things to her, which we are aware of these allegations. We don't need to talk about the details. Jane Doe goes on to say, quote, I was upset. The person at the gas station could tell I was upset, so she let me use the phone. I called my dad because he was the only person I trusted at that time. I told him I messed up and I needed a ride home. We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
He comes in and me. Well, he at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the
Now, she told NBC News that she never told anyone about the attack or wrote it down in a diary. Quote, even if somebody found out, who was going to believe me? I mean, it was the word of two celebrities against mine. Her father told NBC News he does not recall picking her up after the attack, casting doubt on a key detail in her lawsuit. According to their address at the time, her father would have driven more than 5 hours from their home to pick her up. He said, I feel like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something I would have definitely remembered. It would have stuck in his mind, he says, which I also agree. The woman's father, who said he learned about the attack this week, added that he did remember once picking her up in the middle of the night, but said it was a local drive.
He rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements.
Now, Tony Busby, her lawyer, has had to issue a statement to explain some of this away, especially her father's claims. Tony says regarding her father's recollections, he says, we agree. He states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point of time due to personal issues he had going on. We are talking about a time frame of more than 20 years ago. Okay. Quote, honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all the faces there are as clear, the woman says. So I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. Okay. Also, among the woman's allegations that could not be corroborated is how she made it to New York City that night. One of her attorneys provided NBC News with the name and birth date of a friend she said drove her, who would have been 20 at the time. That person appears to have since died. Years after were hard, she says. I got severely depressed. I withdrew completely. My grades started slipping. She experienced homelessness. She said it at one point suffered a head injury. She also said that her father R-worded. She and her father also said she was R-worded again later on in life. So, geez, Jane Doe has gone through it. I'm sorry, Jane Doe. She now has 2 children, a son and a daughter. She served less than a year in the Army National Guard and left with the rank of private. I'm so confused. She got her high school diploma and got my Christian counseling certification so she could help people who have gone through what she has gone through.
I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out than I am of being chastised by their fans.
Now, because of these inconsistencies, JayZ is trying to get this case dismissed. This report claims that JayZ's lawyers have asked a judge on Wednesday to extract the rapper from the lawsuit. They cited the recent television interview this accuser did with NBC News with the acknowledged inconsistencies in her story. JayZ's lawyers said in a filing obtained by Daily Mail, when pressed by NBC, JayZ's accuser was forced to admit, I've made some mistakes and I've made a mistake in identifying. Now, because there are a handful of inconsistencies, JayZ's legal team are able to use these to justify why he shouldn't be included because he's claiming he's not responsible. Here's a clip of JayZ's lawyer, Alex, explaining their case.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
She says that she might have some facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up. 10-hour drive, round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night. Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
Now, because JayZ's lawyers are seizing on this interview, Diddy's lawyers are doing the same, saying that this is the beginning of an end of a shameful money grab. Because JayZ's lawyers are saying that this accuser isn't credible, you know, Diddy's side is like, yeah, hell yeah, she's not credible. They're going to jump on it.
Says that he also wants to expose the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby.
He takes away the voices from real victims and he causes real harm. If this lawyer has any sense, he's going to dismiss this claim. I don't know whether he has any sense.
Busby, who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week. A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Now the lawyers are going at it. I feel like it could be a reality show, these lawyers going after each other's character. 50 Cent decided he's going to wake up and be messy because he shared an AI deepfake video of JayZ and Diddy getting arrested. Taking to Instagram, he posted this AI generated video of these men being arrested, saying, I want to post this, but I'm afraid I'm going to get shot. Let's go ahead and see what this video is about. Okay, so you can see that, oh my gosh, it is totally AI, but it looks like these men are getting arrested, and whoa, it's AI, but it does kind of look real. Also, wait, why do they have champagne glasses in their hands? Being escorted out? Wow. AI can really do a lot, huh? Wait, so then 50 Cent like had this made? This is obviously a very touchy story because we're talking about a woman's account of something that could have happened to her when she was 13 years old, and I know that there's a lot of forces in the celebrity world that have a lot of power that could work against her. So I just want to put out all the information that I can find on everything. So I want to hear what you guys think of this situation in the comments below. I do not think that this leaves Diddy innocent by any means. We've seen tons of evidence that are, not even related to this woman's claims. So we're gonna stay hard on Diddy, but definitely keeping a close eye on JayZ. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye guys.